Yeah. You can just do it like nonchalant. It's pretty chill around here, if you know what I mean.
Or are we doing like interview style like before, or do you just want me to
Oh,
talk
it's
stuff? I don't know.
talk. Tell us
Let's talk.
everything. So
Tell
tell
us
us.
everything. Okay,
Okay,
great.
is this okay that you tell us your story a little bit? Because I feel like that's always like a really good place to start, if whatever you feel comfortable with. And like some of the stuff, because I know you're like a accredited author and like all this stuff and like really tapped into water as a lot of people on this call are, right? And you are a
You
healer
froze.
and like you've been like, so can I just say this? I've known Shanna for years. She lives in San Diego. I met her through like an underground spiritual community of healers globally. That's what I call it.
I like that.
Yeah. You look good, girl.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just so happy to be here and help support Trish. You know, this has been her big dream, and I just love it when people win and they are doing good for the, communities and humanity at large and the whole collective. And yeah, we've never even gotten to hug each other in real life yet, but we are close friends. And she's just been a very bright, shiny light, in my world. And so I'm always happy to, support my friends and what they're doing. And Healerverse is just so beautiful. Like I said, I tried to even just post this link on Facebook the other day, and it was like, I'm trying to get likes and follows, and it banded me. And I was like, so much for free speech here in America. So, yeah, but yeah, I've been a healer most of my life. I believe it's one of my gifts. I've been a massage therapist for 17 years. And 12 years ago, I learned about restructured ionized water, and that completely changed my life. So even though I was sort of in a health and wellness field as a massage therapist, I was still pretty sick. I was overweight. I was taking pharmaceutical drugs. I just kind of believed what the doctors had told me and just accepted that as truth and reality because I just didn't know any better yet. We can only grow and learn and do better when new things are introduced to us, and then we have these new awarenesses. So we are those who choose to continue in a path of growth and self-development and awakening get to continually raise our vibration until we have reached a new awareness, a new understanding, and then we start to question things more. I remember I'd even been drinking this special water for quite some time. I had great health results in the beginning. In the first 3 months, I actually lost 30 pounds without doing any diet or exercise changes. And then it took me about 6 months, but I was actually able to get off of all six of the prescription drugs that I was taking. And the reason we did that a little slower was because when I had both my children, I ended up cutting everything out cold turkey and detoxing in the hospital. And so I didn't want to do that again. It was not fun. Don't recommend it. So we just kind of cut back, halved and quartered, and took off, one prescription at a time with, doctor's supervision. And they're like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And I'm like, if you want to learn, I'll tell you. And they're like, no, we don't want to know, because they, make money from pharmaceuticals, or they only have certain guidelines they choose to follow, a lot of them. So more of the naturopathic, chiropractic, more holistic doctors are using this product and sharing it with people. But a lot of the Western medicine, they're kind of not open. I'm so blessed that I have this great physician's assistant, and I follow him everywhere. He's not even like a real doctor, but he does believe in what I do, and he's actually able to support me. This device is actually considered a medical grade device. So when I travel, I can actually fly with my water. And sometimes it's helpful to have a little extra note from the doctor. It's not completely necessary, but he does support me in getting me that when I travel. And so it's been a blessing to have him in my life. I was
Weren't
just able
you
to.
just in Japan? Tell us about
I
Japan.
was, I was just going to
Yeah.
say, I was
Yes.
just in Japan in
Yeah.
June. It was the 50th anniversary celebration of the company. So, that's just amazing as it is that something can be around this long, and for it to still not to have completely saturated the market. And that's because the owner, he wants it to be a relationship business. It's word of mouth, it's friends telling friends. And it's sort of like that underground movement that, we have to sometimes be careful about what claims we make and what we share, to the general public. But if you just listen to anybody's story and testimony, like everybody's got positive things to say. So it was think about 7,000 of us from around the world. This is a global community as well, where we've shipped the product to over 180 countries, and we have 42 physical office locations on all the continents now. Africa was our last one that we just opened up. And that's to reduce some of the shipping costs. So your product will be shipped from the closest service center to you. And so that just helps spread the message. And the owner of the company, he believes in what he calls true health. So we do have our physical health. This does help the body balance itself naturally. And then we have our relationship health, how we get along with others, our mindset, all of the other parts of our body, that our subconscious mind, how we speak to ourselves. It's like if you've ever seen Dr. Emoto's work where he's talking to the water and then freezes it, and where he says the loving things and it goes one direction, and if he says negative things, it goes a negative direction. So we're 75% water. Imagine how those words and that intention is affecting us internally, the stuff we can't even see necessarily. And then we have our financial health, our well-being, our freedom, our time, all of this stuff. You could have a doctor who makes great money, but he works 80 hours a week and can't go to his kid's baseball game.
हाँ,
And so
तो भाई मैसेज करो, रिप्लाई करो, उसमें मैं क्या देखूं? मतलब यू शुड रिप्लाई बैक यार, ये ना वर्क एथिक्स में आता है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
yeah,
That's our CTO, guys.
got it.
Hi, Krish.
And so that's
I
part
was
of
just texting other people the link. That's why I was like not looking for a second. I was
yeah,
texting other people
the
that
more the merrier.
yeah,
Welcome.
because I know a bunch of people said that they wanted to come, but I like didn't send them the link. So I'm like, I just did it.
That's okay. And there'll be a recording, so that's good too. Some people have different time zones and work and obligations. And I know my friend Gwen really wanted to be here, but she dances every Friday at this time. And so I'm sure she'll really appreciate being able to join later on. So yeah, so then, I started this because I knew as a massage therapist and healer, my body was only going to have so much capacity. The length of the career of a massage therapist when I first started was being advertised as somewhere between 5 and 7 years. Now I've already been a therapist for 17, but when I had started this other company, I kind of put it out into the universe, my intention to retire, and I'll still have my favorite clients, and all that stuff, maybe do some fun retreats or things, but I wanted to retire after 20 years. And so I started this to be able to supplement my income, to be able to help more people that I couldn't physically connect to. And, it expanded health and wellness to a global scale. And it gave me that time freedom to really be with my kids. I have been a single mom for most of their lives. My oldest turns 20 next Wednesday, and my little one turns 14 next month. And so, like there was one time we were at an amusement park, and I took a phone call, and they were like, well, why are you on the phone when we're supposed to be having fun? And I was like, would you rather me be on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes while we're having fun, waiting in line for this ride? Or would you rather me be at work all day? And that's when they kind of got it. They're like, oh yeah, mom actually gets to be here. I get to make my own schedule. I can go on the field trips and do the chaperone thing, and I can really just be present in their life. And that was such an important thing to me, to not have to have my mom, my parents were still together until I was 12, and my mom was the one who worked outside the home more. So I did have that special time with my dad, but I just know that, she all she ever wanted, her biggest dream was just to be a wife and a mom. And I think the happiest time she had was when she actually started a daycare in our home so that she could be home with us more. So that was just something that was really important to me, and knowing that one day they're going to fly the nest, they're going to leave, they're not going to want to be with me anymore, and just knowing that we had that quality time together while we could.
You're so stinking cute.
Shanna, I want to hear
Tell us
more about your
about
product. I want to hear more
yeah.
about your product that you sell.
Okay, so the company is Enagic, and the water that's created has been trademarked as Kangen water. So some people are more familiar with that term than the actual company itself. And it is a machine, little device, completely portable. The one I have, I travel with it. I put it on a carry-on, take it with me, and it creates actually 7 different types of water. So it goes from anywhere from a strong acidic water that's a 2.5 pH that can kill bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, Staph, MRSA. I haven't gotten strep throat since I've owned this product, and I used to get it quite often because I'm a therapist and I'm working in people's like space. So now, you know, if I just feel a little tickle coming on in my throat, I just gargle with some of that and it kills it right away. I've also used it when one of my kids got some worms, so it can kill parasites. So if you get food poisoning, anything like that, you just take a little shot of it. It's not going to be recommended by the company to drink it just because they're trying to, you know, cover their butt. But for the people who've used the product, we know all the little secrets, you know. And then the next level up from that is a 5.5, slightly acidic. We call it a beauty water because it's the same pH as the skin. So that's going to replace any toners you have. It's really good detangler for your hair. It actually cleans glass, you know, so mirrors, hardwood floors, stainless steel. So I have my whole house is chemical-free cleaning. I don't have anything toxic under the sink for my kids to get in. It's all water. If they accidentally drank it, nothing would happen to them, you know. And some plants like that, because some plants like a slightly acidic soil. And then we have a clean water, which is just a filtered. It's not ionized or restructured at all. That I've only really ever used to clean my fish tank with. But the fish like it because it's already got all the chlorine and bad stuff out of it. You don't have to put in all those extra drops and things. Then the drinking waters are anywhere between an 8.5 to a 9.5. We start people a little bit lower just in case they have any detox symptoms and they're not used to this. It's going to flush out the body. It's smaller molecules. So if you can imagine like a chain link fence, your cell walls, you know, have a certain size and shape. And so this is actually designed to be able to go into those aquaporins of the body. So it's like if you looked at a chain link fence and you're throwing a baseball at it versus marbles or BBs. And so this is like the marbles or BBs where it's going to go through the fence versus bigger water. You know, you get that kind of full bloated feeling if you drink too much of it. It's not really being utilized by the body. It's just being eliminated when we use the restroom. And then the highest alkaline water we have is an 11.5, and that one actually emulsifies oil. So it can take all the pesticides off the fruits and vegetables, even homegrown stuff that we've had in the backyard because of all the chemtrails and air pollution, stuff from the cars driving by. We still wash it and it's still got discoloration in it, which is quite shocking and surprising that nothing is really safe, even if you're doing it yourself. But I use that to clean my oven. I use that instead of laundry detergent. And so it's just, you know, really beneficial on so many levels, saves people so much money. I tell people it's kind of like solar, you know, you invest a little bit more right now, but the product has a lifespan of 30 years or more as long as you do the minimal maintenance on it. And so it's really just a one-time purchase for your whole lifetime. And I think, Trish, you said, does it go on the whole house? It usually goes in the kitchen because that's where most people will use it. I've had some people where they're, you know, sharing space. They put it in their bathroom or something just if they don't feel like sharing with everyone that they're living with. And then we actually have a separate shower system, and that takes out all the chlorine. Chlorine is very harmful to us. Probably most of us know, and our skin is our largest organ. So it's absorbing so much of that, even just a quick little 10-15 minute shower. And then it also infuses minerals from the hot springs of Japan. So it actually feels like, you know, I already have lotion or something on when I just step out of the shower. So it's very hydrating and soothing to the skin. And, you know, I look cute. So I think the
I'll
shower
vouch
one is,
for that. I've known you for like how long? 5 years, 4 years? And
yeah.
actually, like I've watched Shanna like transform over the last years, like we both did. But like it's been amazing to watch. Like I know a lot of the stuff she's been doing to work on herself, including this. And like, yeah, she has transformed. Yes. Yes.
And the people in your life are super important. You know, I'm really big on communities, and that's why I love supporting Trish. And I have an amazing new partner in my life who's super supportive. And
Here?
he's
I
the
thought
other.
I saw him. Yeah.
So yeah, the other Shanna. You know, we share the Zoom, so it's all
I love
me.
this. I love it. Hello.
But yeah, this is beautiful art behind me. He's
Wow.
an artist. So
Wow.
yeah, if you go to his Instagram, it's King Charles, the artist.
Hi, King Charles. Wait, but
Yeah,
your name, what? Your name's not Charles, though.
his is.
It is Charles. Wow, you
Hello,
got
hello.
Hey. You got a proper name when you came in. I like it. I'm
Yeah,
adding.
so he's driving, he's got to be safe, so that's probably why the camera's off. But yeah, so I mean, Japan was amazing. The culture, the people, they're just all so genuine and kind. And that's one of the things as far as this product, it is assembled by one person the entire time. And they're really taking that care with it. And it's like almost like it's infused with love. And so, you know, the technology from Japan has always been great. They've always been ahead of their time with electronics and technology and things. And so it's just been such a blessing to be involved with this company. The owner, I've met him a couple of times, you know, and he has just such a beautiful heart. You know, as far as business wise, I believe our company distributes back about 73 to 76% for the representatives and affiliates and the people that are doing the marketing, because the company is just a manufacturer. So they're not in charge of getting the word out. That's completely up to us. And he's just found some beautiful heart-based entrepreneurs to go and spread his message of compassion. And that's how it's grown.
You're amazing. So I cut you off before and just made it super interactive. Can you tell us how much is the shower one?
So it's going to depend on where you are. I'm more familiar with the US prices because I'm here, and it's about $2,800.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I also put the new Healerverse Instagram in the chat
Nice.
because we were deplatformed to 10. I don't remember if it was like 8 or 9 or 10,000 followers. So, you know, we're all used to this by now. It doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's not going to
The,
stop us.
the truth will set you free. It will prevail. There's so much power in numbers, and
No.
it's like an uprising, you know, like the little ants. I try not to step on them when I see them. I remember when I was a kid and I was kind of rude to nature sometimes, but they have such a great community structure, and that's what I feel like. You know, everyone feels so little. They're like, well, we don't make
Colonies.
a difference, but when we come together, it's just great.
I love this. Yeah, like the ant colonies, they roll deep. That's us. I love it. So tell us about your books, if you don't
Oh,
mind.
yeah, sure. So I've been a collaborative author. So that means they're anthologies, they're multi-author books. And I've had 6 that have already been published. And the 7th one is set to come out, I believe, next year. I'll just list them in order because it's easier for me to remember. Kind of like when people ask me about my tattoos, I got to go from the first one. So
Question.
yeah.
On your Healerverse page, do you have the link to all your books and like everything, like your website or something? Is it on your?
Probably not. I'll work on that. I'm working on attracting my tech team because that's not my area of genius, and so I
Well,
would like to.
Reach is on the call, so.
Yeah, I'll stay in my area of genius by going out and blowing bubbles and having fun with people and giving hugs, and then someone
I
else
love
can do
it.
that.
Do you have a website at all?
I mean, I have the Amazon author page says all the links to the book. I
Okay.
believe that's just my name. I've tried to keep things simple on all social media. It should be Shanna Lee Moore, my full
Yeah.
name. And so that hopefully is how it's appearing.
I'm gonna
But
make you a website in my spare time.
awesome. I have my name as a domain. It just hasn't been built out yet because you have so much spare time, my friend.
That's what I meant.
I know.
Well, what I can do is I can just literally replicate my website and put your pictures on it, and then it's done.
Beautiful.
It's
Love it.
easy. You're gonna have to take it from there. I'll show you what to do.
Sounds great. So yeah, the first book was called The Fearless Entrepreneurs, and it was a little bit about, you know, my entrepreneurial journey and how I got started and my motivations. You know, they always talk about your why. Uh, then I had Wellness for Winners, so we went into a little bit more about, you know, optimum health and different recommendations I have for getting there. The book I read was How a Book Changed My Life, and the book I chose to write about was The 4 Agreements. And those are still principles that I practice every day. It's don't make assumptions, always do your best, be impeccable with your word, and don't take anything personally. And so I feel like when I remember that, everybody is just doing the best they can with their limited knowledge of what stage of life they're in, and they're not really trying to affect me, and that if I hold my own vibration and I'm, keeping my sovereignty, then I don't have to let that really impact me. It's really hard when it's my kids because, we're so close, but we all get to be mirrors for each other in these close, intimate relationships. And there's something that they can teach me. And my awareness that I got recently was that my oldest child sort of represents more of the parts of myself that I like. And my youngest child is embodying some of the ones that I was maybe a little more challenged with, or I was a challenge for my mom, in those teen years from 13 to 17 or whatnot. And so just kind of being able to give more grace and kind of go back and reparent that inner child that I have too, because there's something, that was missing there. And I'm trying to tap into that to see what I can offer, my youngest in this season. So let's see, that was Wellness for Winners, the book I read. Then I have Women with Healing Gifts. And then The Mind-Body Connection. And that one, I think the chapter was breath, boundaries, and breaking through your BS. I think me and Trish talked about that one a little bit one of the last times we talked because it was the newest one. And then I also have just a poem. I'm a poet, and I always include a poem in each of my chapters, but I have a separate poem in a book called Dear Napoleon. That one didn't quite get the publicity to go to the #1 international best-selling rank. I actually didn't even know I was in it. When I first submitted my entry, the guy was like, "Oh, that's a great poem, but you missed the deadline, so sorry." And I was like, okay, that was a learning experience for me because I had kind of let some depression set in. It was during COVID, and I was busy trying to homeschool my kids and navigate not being able to massage and use my gift, and kind of trying to step more into some of my other roles. And then, I don't always check my email every day or every week. Sometimes that's an area of growth also. So yeah, I was just checking my email one day and it was like, here's the PDF version. And I was like, why would you send out the whole PDF? Like I had told them I still wanted to be, supportive to the other people in the book, but I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, shouldn't we be buying it or something? And so I was going through like the table of contents and I was actually in there. So it's kind of like a surprise publishing. So that was super cool. And then the one that will be coming out next year is Flowing to Freedom. And it's about the 13 chakra system. And my chakra that called to me during that project was actually the solar plexus. So that's all my books.
And that book that you're launching is with Gwen, right?
It
Amazing.
is.
Amazing.
Yep.
When is that happening?
That's a Gwen question. We're still working on it. So, publishing has a certain dollar amount. I believe she's going to do some crowdfunding or something to kind of get what we need together for that as well. And then some of us, we have different modalities and things that we can have as offerings. I also practice and teach Qigong. So that's something that, we're working on how we're going to have like on the back end ways for people to get a hold of us and maybe have courses or retreats or something else fun to do together.
I love this. Cool. What else you got going, girl?
I got lots. That's so much. I don't want to just have a monologue. Does anyone have any other questions or want to give me some feedback or something?
I want to hear more about your transformation using your product.
Yeah. So I feel sometimes like I didn't do anything. Like when people started commenting on the weight loss and they're like, well, what'd you do? I was like, I just drank this water. It's super easy, And then, as time goes on, my mentor, the woman who introduced this product to me, she invited me over for a potluck, and she's like, oh, bring some potato salad. And I guess she assumed I was going to cook. And I hadn't quite embraced that yet. So I bought like some pre-made, potato salad from the store. And she comes over to me and she's like, do you read labels? And I was like, judging by how you asked me, I probably need to learn and do that. So, you know, she then started to educate me a little bit more on, you know, sort of just whole lifestyle. And I really looked up to her because she had homeschooled her kids, and you know, they traveled the world. They got to spend like months in Europe, and it was just something that I really wanted to create for my kids. And I didn't quite have the best partners at the time to really make all of those dreams come true, but I have gotten to give my kids things way beyond what I ever experienced. You know, when my oldest was 7, we went on a Disney cruise, and you know, the little one is the one who I just took to Japan with me. And when my oldest, you know, wanted to go to Europe with just the girlfriends, you know, not with parents anymore, was able to help, you know, support that. And she got to go on the 8th grade trip to, you know, Washington, D.C. and New York and see her first Broadway play, and all of those things that I couldn't even do the gymnastics class for more than the free trial period, you know? So, but yeah, I think that self-love and acceptance are, you know, my biggest areas of growth. I still sometimes have that inner critic inside me. And so, you know, really just kind of tapping into nature and, you know, elemental medicine and this living workshop that I'm a part of, really being able to just offer that to the fire and burn it away and, you know, call in something greater to fill that void. I've always, for the last, you know, decade or so, been into the personal development, you know, growth oriented, and really just changing my communities. You know, I was single mom, so I was on welfare and, you know, assistance. And when you're around that demographic of people, not all of them want to change. Some of them, that was actually their aspiration. I met a girl and she's like, oh yeah, I signed up for, you know, housing assistance when I was pregnant. And I was like, so your dream was to stay in a system that would support you. Whereas my dream was like, why can't we make this easier for people to get out of? Because it's like, you know, when my mom said, you know, we got the free lunch and then made $5 too much and they took it all away. So it's like that $5 didn't cover all those meals. And so it's like, really, how can we all collaborate and live in harmony and community with each other to be that support, to really, you know, pool our gifts and our resources. And I'm like completely convinced one day you're going to find me on the side of a mountain in some, you know, community with my friends that I've met over the years, because I'm just going to be totally done with this stuff. I think my oldest will come with me. She's like, can I go to Europe? Like, that was a big mistake for her, or a big, great blessing for her, because now she sees, and that's what she wants to, you know, step into. And so now she gets to navigate as, you know, a young adult person. What do I need to do to make that happen? And they don't always want to follow in the same footsteps as I do. I really admire the people in my company that do have the legacy for their family, and they've already gotten their kids involved and they get to do it together. But I know that my kids have their own passions and dreams, and just figuring out how I can step back and support those. What was your text, Trish? Because I didn't open chat.
So I just want to say I'm so proud of you. I did not know that. I didn't know your whole story. And I feel that one of the ways that like most people also can help heal is hearing inspirational stories like yours. I obviously have known you for a long time for bits and pieces, but hearing that was super duper powerful. So thank you. And I hope that you'll share more with us too about your story, because I would love to hear. And Shannon number 2 wrote, what's the difference between your water and store-bought expensive filters?
Store-bought expensive filters. So a lot of expensive filters are reverse osmosis. That can actually have long-term negative effects on the body, because it is taking out the natural minerals. And because water has that memory, it remembers that it's supposed to have like calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. And so could actually cause the arthritis and the degenerative diseases over time, because it's going to go in and get that calcium out of your bones, because it's trying to rebalance itself. And so with this one, it filters out the stuff we don't want, but it keeps it with the natural occurring source water minerals, as if we were to climb up to a fresh glacier mountain spring. So if you go up in the mountains, you've got the rocks and the minerals from there, you've got the thunder and the lightning and the electricity, and this water is being restructured to mimic the natural hexagonal shape that comes in that natural spring. And because it has the active hydrogen, that's why it's not bottled or sold in the stores that way. And it's better to have it fresh from the machine. It's like a living water. So like when you take a fruit or a vegetable and you cut it open and it starts to oxidize and rust and turn brown, this water also becomes less potent as it sits. So I can give samples to people. It is stable enough for about, 2 to 3 days, but it's really best when it's fresh. You're going to have the most inflammation reducing benefits. And that's why people have these great testimonies, because it actually goes in there and it reduces inflammation, and it is the, flushing out at that cellular level and being able to eliminate all the waste that's no longer needed. The reason they said I had the weight loss was because the fat, it was working as a buffer to protect the internal organs from all my toxins. And so once those toxins were gone, the weight didn't need to be there to be that buffer, and it was just able to come off.
That makes so much sense. And I feel too that you've also done a lot of healing of this current timeline experiences as well. And I literally have watched like one of the healers that you're working with that's also on the platform. I don't tell anyone when anyone tells me, like I'm super private and secretive, but man, like the stuff that she's done with you and how I've seen like just like it's like a rebirth. And I feel too like sometimes the weight comes off when we do trauma healing, like when we really heal ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Cause like that's how I have like gotten rid of that gut. Besides, obviously, I haven't had meat or anything like that in I think almost 4 years, but that's not really the solution either. It's a personal journey, right? But like man, I've seen the light come on in your eyes. It's not that it was never there, but it's so fun to watch people heal and transform, especially when we're doing it side by side together. And you, sister, are literally glowing.
Yeah, even just a mindfulness practice. I have another friend, and she's the clutter expert, and she helps people declutter their lives. And she says that clutter manifests in different ways, and it could be the excess weight or the physical stuff around you, or just, too many emails, all of these things. And it's because we're not willing to look at the feelings and to feel the feelings and to sit with them. And we try to, stop them from coming. And by just allowing the now is the practice that she has. And so it's just by sitting with that, even just like 5 minutes a day, and just letting it come to us, and, thanking it for what it's showing us, and there's great healing that's been done in plant medicine communities, and, trauma healing, shadow work, all of it, breath work, somatic healing, all of the modalities that your great healers on this platform can offer, and all the ones that are yet to join us that just don't know we're out here yet. So, it's still, I mean, I started with you when we were beta testing. Was there like 10 of us or something?
I'm sorry. It was a nightmare. I mean, literally, my friends were like, Trish, WTF. And I'm like, and it was so stressful for me too. You know what I mean? I owe you guys my life. Literally. Literally. I'm definitely going to owe you guys for a lifetime at least because of it. We watched so many things in one platform at one time, like, and it was just Trish as the solo founder, right? And I
We broke the
definitely,
internet. Didn't we break it something when we first launched?
we definitely broke some shit. Yeah, like, and then one time the freaking SSL certificate expired, and it was like, everyone's texting me, and they're like, the site is unsafe, and I'm like, it's not fucking unsafe. Excuse my language. It's not fucking unsafe. Like literally the tech team. Should I stop recording for 2 seconds?
No, you're
I
fine.
have a new tech team. I had an awful situation. They didn't even know what the fucking SSL certificate was. Sorry for the cursing. I usually do that when I mean it.
Just that fiery passion inside you.
Like try to amplify my message. You know what I mean?
Salt and pepper. It's a little seasoning for you.
Oh, thank you, James. Oh my God. So, and Shannon number 2, aka George. Not George. George. No. What's your boyfriend's name?
Charles.
Charles. Charles wrote, Shannon is one of the best massage therapists I've ever experienced too. It was the first thing I fell in love with. Listen, Charles, you've been making her smile so big, you know, and I'm so grateful you two met. It's been a beautiful year. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have known each other for about 3 years now. So we first met at this another community I'm a part of. There's an event a couple times a year for entrepreneurs, business owners, really high caliber people. It's called Secret Knock. And it's kind of the opposite of every, seminar you might sign up for, because you don't get to know who the speakers are or like where it is or anything that's happening until you get there. And the only rules are to like be cool, and that you should talk to everyone in the room, because you could be sitting next to the owner and founder of Priceline, or the guy who created Pictionary, or the guy who started UGG boots, and you would just never know unless you looked up these people. And so I got to see Charles on first actually during 2020 on a Zoom, because we had to kind of pivot that year. I was signed up to go to the event, and they didn't have one. So, I got to see him as the MC and speaker. He's been friends with the founder for a long time. And then in 2021, we had the first live event again. Coolio was there, we had Joe Dispenza one year, super great people, and we, knew each other from that scene. And then, like he said, he got a couple of massages from me, but it was always professional. And then we just, started to become more friends last year. And then, this year has been, where we developed our relationship. And, our anniversary is on the 15th. It's going to be 10 months. So
You're so cute. Happy anniversary.
thanks.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Barat, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, still, I think Europe is still recovering from, the US elections. There's epic meltdowns on LinkedIn, which I smile bemusedly at, because it's literally nothing to do with us over here. But the amount of people who are wishing to leave the Americas, please don't come to Europe. It's a shithole at the moment. Thank you. It's not doing very well. Japan's good, if you can get in, but the Japanese are very careful about who they let in. They don't let anybody in. All good. Yeah, all good. Just looking at how we can make some money from Mr. Trump and his new energy and tariffs and what have you. It's an exciting time to be alive. Yeah, yeah. Unlike
Crypto.
some of my colleagues who are actually literally still crying, and I'm thinking, what's it got to do with you? You're French. What has the US elections got to do with you? How could the Americans do this? The Americans are all so stupid. I goes, no, the Americans are some of the most intelligent people on the planet. Yeah. Did you see that rocket that was caught by a couple of chopsticks? That was done by,
Oh, Elon.
American technology.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I just find it funny when people just lose their minds. Just have a read of some of the emoting that's on LinkedIn at the moment from highly intelligent people who I work with, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, never mind, move on. All right.
Go check my LinkedIn.
They need some of your water, Shauna. That's what it is. They need some of that water.
Spike them.
Yeah,
Let's spike them with water.
yeah, just need some of that water, because they're just losing their minds over something that they have no control over. That's
Did you see my
but then
LinkedIn?
again, and everybody has to cope in their own way. So yeah.
I guess my LinkedIn was probably a little bit scandalous today because yeah. Were you here when I said what I did? I
No,
posted a picture of me at the Republican National Convention.
that's it.
I
You're not
don't
going to get
care
an
about
email.
politics. I think it's all a show. It's all made up. I did it to like promote emotion and because I like to cause trouble and
I
to get
know.
people's attention. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
well,
emotion causing. Yeah.
You know, all the lefty leaning Democratic Healerverse people are not going to give you any money now for at
Yes,
least
they
6
are good.
months.
At least we'll attract the right people
Well, the
because
thing
the
is, I
entire
was
healer
yeah,
community and the entire conspiracy community like absolutely knew that this was all staged and this was planned. You know what I'm
well,
saying? We've read the cliff notes, now it's just playing out, right? So
well,
like,
the thing
yeah,
is, Healerverse is going to be a big beneficiary of what's happened because a lot of
yeah,
people will be moving towards Healerverse, looking for
yeah,
healing modalities now because they still can't cope with this. So,
exactly.
as I said to a couple of people on LinkedIn privately, I said, this is going to be good for you. You're a psychotherapist, you are a,
Yeah,
you know, massage therapist, what have you. Just get out there and say, listen, if you can't cope with what's happening in America, you know, my LinkedIn is open, my doors are open. I guess you can really cream some money out of this, you know, and obviously help a lot of good people as well. So it's a win-win for certain people. Is it?
yeah.
Yeah. So Healerverse
It's
is,
a win-win for
you know, a lot of people are
everybody.
going to join now. Yeah.
100%. I know. You know what? It's better to wean out the people that aren't in alignment and alliance anyways. Like I think that that's really when you see what I wrote on the campaign that goes
Yeah.
live on Monday. Like I wrote
Yeah.
about censorship and shadow banning on the spiritual community, and that often practitioners are deplatformed, demonetized, censored, and shadow banned. And we're like, here's your solution. You know what I mean? And I really put that on there. And the Republic was so supportive. About a week ago, I realized, oh yeah, Republic. And I saw some of the other
Yeah.
campaigns that were on there had like a similar type of a strategy, being honest on there. And that's what that plus some of the people that are currently on this call right now really inspired me to speak my truth, because that is why I did it in the first place. And I've gotten up on stages and said what's going on. So why wouldn't I put it in the campaign? You know what I mean? And like now too, I feel like humanity, as a lot of things are going to get exposed and whatnot too, like they're literally like brainwashedness, which I can also relate to. They're going to need more help than ever. You know what I mean? And that's where we come in to be able to support them and hold them and meet everybody where they're at. Because that's important to meet people where they're at, right? Yeah. Manny, is that actually a video or is that a picture? I thought it was a picture the whole time.
He's gonna have it.
Yeah, I thought that's a great
Because
photo.
Mindful Manny is practicing stillness.
You're doing great.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm here connecting with Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, while I listen to Shanna and the amazing transformation. It's so awesome to hear two peeps like Trish talk about Shanna. It's like a back and forth testimony or testimonial. And I was also sidetracked because a close friend of mine is having like a personal crisis, so I was chatting back and forth. But um, Shanna's like the third person that brings this water to my dashboard, uh, and so now I'm more curious than yesterday. Let's say, Shanna, if you or anyone here wants to bring your talents or your work, whether it's written or video or whatever in Spanish. I worked and lived in Puerto Rico from '06 to 2010. That was my MBA in sales and marketing, because if you can convince those skeptic, because Puerto Ricans have been ripped off in every way, shape, and form, from MLM to scam artists, you name it. So if you could sell, and I've been told, I don't know what the saying here is in English, but I'll say it in Spanish. Tú le puedes vender hielo a un esquimal. You can sell ice to an Eskimo, is what they've said to me. Um, anyway, so yeah, that was a brutal experience, but great to hear from everyone. I have a question, real quick, like a micro and a macro type question. Has anyone here had experience, or maybe in Healerverse, is there anyone that uses EES? What is it? Energy Enhancement System. Dr. Sandra. I think I wrote to you, Trish, about it,
Yeah,
but
I met her at Conscious Life Festival in Los Angeles. I believe there might be one up actually. Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Check, because I forgot you don't live where I live. Check what, yeah, there's good reviews, good feedback. I would say yes.
Yeah, so I'm interested in looking into crowdfunding, so to speak, to obtain one for my community. Just because I don't have the money in my pocket to have one in my house, nor do I feel the need to have one like in my house under my roof. But I think it would be a good. I live in the community called Harmony. Harmony, Florida is 25 minutes southeast of Orlando, southeast of MCO. So I actually, Trish, I have the domain. I don't know if I told you this. I told you I have a bunch of them, but one of them is Make Harmony Great Again. I have that one.
I love
Which used to be used by a musician, a Frenchman. It's interesting that Barat was talking about a Frenchman, who was talking. His platform was more about bringing music back to the schools, like arts and music back to the schools. But thank you, Trish, for that link.
yeah.
Yeah, so unifiedhealing.com. Jason Shurka is the one that's like helping out with opening centers.
Yes, he's promoting her the most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
been doing my homework there.
amazing.
There's a
So,
couple centers here in Orlando, so I'll
yes,
probably just do like a test drive of one.
yeah, I would do that before you
Yeah.
commit. Yeah, because I
So
haven't
part of that due diligence, right, Trish?
yeah, exactly. Yep, yep.
Yeah. And so back to the macro. Thank you for that. So back to the macro question, because I know Trish, you're in a constant and never-ending process of evolution and expansion. So how would you like, other than what I will see at the Republic link, republic.com/Healerverse, what have you? What's Republic doing for Healerverse? Can you give me the elevator pitch on that?
Okay, so it's going to be less of an elevator pitch and more like descriptive. So
Yeah, yeah.
they're a regulation crowdfunding platform. They work with the attorneys and the CPAs because we're selling securities. Like Trish right now is 100% owner of Healerverse. We're raising 1.235 on Republic and basically at a 10 million valuation. And what we're going to do with the capital is launch a telehealth platform and do marketing and also integrate video systems. But somebody said they were going to gift me on Monday, actually. Somebody said they were going to gift me this amazing tech that they have that's in JavaScript and JNode, like that he built out. And it's for like to have like healers can have their own TV shows on Healerverse and they could go live all the time. And like it's not on YouTube. It's not censored. Let's go. You know what I mean? We're also going to launch crypto payments on the platform. That way healers can get paid in healers. People
You
can
could
buy
probably make your own crypto called Healer Crypto or
healer
something.
token. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
easy.
there you go.
Yeah. We could do like a meme coin or an L2 crypto or something. I guess one of the things, and it's too bad Gary chopped off here because he's the CTO, CPO. But honestly, I'm still kind of the CTO. You know what I mean? Because like I have the vision, and I've been doing the tech for this for like 3.5 years. So I'm still gonna like, I'm sticking to the last say, baby. I know it's possible. I just don't have time to do the coding, if that makes sense. But definitely like, maybe we would do like a gift giving kind of like a system on the platform that people can like, I don't know, when they post, they get a token or something like that. But there's already so much happening on there, so we'll just have to see what rolls out next. I'm not opposed to it. I think
Um,
this thing is integrating crypto payments onto the platform, which is a super easy integration and API into the platform. I know some people even on this call that are healers, they want that. So especially look what just happened to Bitcoin. Like it's just the beginning.
yeah, so just like Healerverse has, just like you go through your process of vetting the provider, so it's like a Healerverse
Yes, I forgot what I was talking.
authorized.
Yeah, okay. So they're gonna do due diligence on every single person that invests, KYC. I'm not really sure what they're looking for. Well, I think it's because you're buying securities. It's like when you signed up for Robinhood or you sign up for it's in the United States, it's nothing crazy. The turnaround time on the KYC will be probably a few minutes, but I did in my last Healerverse email send an email out that also indicated that people outside the United States in certain countries, because you can invest from like, I don't know, almost every single country except for like North Korea and the alike, are able to invest in Healerverse, you know what I mean? So I suggested that if they wanted to get in on the first day to make sure that they get in, to do the due diligence in advance. And the way that you can do that is just by public.com. Go in there, sign up now. That way you can just click on this link that will be live on Monday at 11, what did I say? 11.
11 at 11.
Yeah, this is gonna be the final link. We have the first look link, and actually on the first look link, I was like, does everybody, I sent them an email today. I said, when people go ahead and they type in the first look link still, because we started email bliss today, are they going to wind up at this? Like, does it reroute, like forward it to this? And she said no. So Monday, I have like to make a checklist of what I need to do, including changing the first look page to say go to republic.com / Healerverse, we're live, you know, because like we're doing this pre-reservation right now. But honestly, like do you have a US passport and license?
Yeah.
So you'll be good. You'll be good. You can probably just sign up on the spot. But if you wanted to do it in advance, then I would suggest doing that now. It's just easy to do. Yeah.
So another question, if I can just put you on the spot. How
Sure.
do you feel about, because I know we've talked about shadow ban and how all that has happened, but that's history. How would you compare Healerverse to Metaverse?
What does metaverse mean?
The Facebook, you know,
That's not the
the
metaverse, right, Barrett?
right. So is it, would you say you're like in direct,
But wow,
would you say you're in direct competition, like in a way?
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I don't like them. I don't like what they do. I don't like what they've done. I send them everlasting love and abundance of all things. And GFYS. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I wanted to check this with you a while ago because you know me, I use a lot of metaphors. So I asked the person, this would be like my cousin because
Yeah.
he's my confidant. So I say, so I'm talking about Healerverse and I say, have you heard of Metaverse? He's like, of course. Have you been in Metaverse? And he has his opinions. No, but I know what it is. And okay, so let's start from that perspective. And we could, this is like the anti, because that's all for like the .coms and big pharma and whoever is in there. So this is the Healerverse, right? So instead of blue and white, this is purple, purple and white.
Yeah, but also that's not even a metaverse. That's actually all Web 2 technology. It's not anything Web 3. And in addition to that, the metaverse is about decentralization and unity at the same time, and everyone owning their own content, which is exactly how it goes on Healerverse. Everybody owns their own content. Healerverse doesn't own anybody's content, like when they post, right? When you post, you own that, not Healerverse. You know what I mean? And we're never going
Right,
to sell anybody's data. That's the foundation of Meta, right?
right.
So a
Yeah.
lot of healers in Healerverse own their own metaverses and like do healing in the metaverse and whatnot. At least
Oh,
like
okay.
1, 2, 3.
A
At least
few.
if the healers on Healerverse own like have their own metaverses. Uh yeah. And actually one of them set up a metaverse for Healerverse in a metaverse to promote us. Yeah, I
Oh,
have
wow.
there. I've
That's trippy.
John, it was John Force, and he could do whatever he wants. I trust him with my life. Literally, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever he
Okay,
wants.
so yeah, that's what I felt. It was a bit dicey to use to draw comparisons. So I'm glad that we had this compare and contrast right from you.
Good question. And honestly, what's interesting is that it was so disappointing when having been like a blockchain affiliate as Barat is here too, and Dr. Tim Teal too, who's here. And we're all like Web3 advocates. Like I'm a global blockchain speaker. Barat is also a blockchain speaker. I'm sorry, I'm speaking on your behalf. We were on a panel together. That's how we met. In London. And
Yeah.
it's like, it was really disappointing that they went and that they did that, bought that name, because it almost was like putting a dark cloud over the Web3 community who's all about the opposite values as them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the metaverse is still being defined. The second iteration of definition for the metaverse is communities, interoperability. It's late in London. It's been a hard day. It's about, as it were, collectivization. So Meta, what used to be Facebook is a closed metaverse because they own everything. And so most of the other brands who say that they have a metaverse. The actual, the real metaverse is not yet been created properly because you can't jump from Healerverse to Meta to Nvidia or any of the other people and actually share information, because all the information is now corralled into a little. So you have to have these different you have your Instagram accounts and you have your Facebook accounts, and you have your TikTok and what have you. The real metaverse would be Trish being able to go straight through all of those communities without any issues and only having one account. And blockchain obviously crosses all of that, but at the moment we don't have that because everybody's harvesting the data. Data is what's used for that, and AI is basically being trained on all that data. So unless people enlighten themselves, which is where the Healerverse comes in, then we're still going to have borders and walls around certain communities. But Healerverse is a open community, but it is a self-exclusive community because it only attracts people who are actually, dare I say, enlightened to actually join it. It's not for everybody, and it's not meant to be for everybody, but everybody can actually be affected by the people who are actually working in the metaverse, in Healerverse, as it were. So there's a ways to go, Manny, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Okay.
everyone's welcome in the Healerverse. Unless you're a
And
jerk. Like that's my one rule on the platform. It's like you need to be nice to each other, because like if religious organizations want to come into Healerverse, they're welcome. They're very welcome, open arms, I want people to be able to see everything that's out there, like, be able to find friends. Yeah. you know
yeah,
yeah.
one more question, Trish. What are your plans for upcoming roundtables, like next Friday at 1 and the one after
um,
that?
So I put a TO on the round tables. We're doing a launch party on Monday at 11 o'clock. I'm going to post that out everywhere, blast out emails everywhere. I just implemented a massive AI system into my life today. Any data that we have on anybody is only used to better each individual's user experience. We will never sell your data, for the better user journey and the better like user flow on the platform and outside the platform and whatnot. So I literally woke up at 5:30 this morning and it's been a full send kind of day. If you're in the US and you were in my phone a month ago, you're going to get a text from me tomorrow, today. You probably already got an email from me if I had your email address today. And I literally have 200,000 emails in my CRM system. So it's going to be a fun week. Let's go. Shanna,
So
check
11 to
at 11
11 to
o'clock. And then honestly, we're going to be doing all sorts of events like virtually and then probably some in person too. I'm scheduled to go to New York next week and meet with some people. But I literally didn't even leave my house this time to go to Puerto Rico. So you just never know where I'm going to go and not, right?
So yeah, Shanna's asking 11 Eastern. I think the answer is yes,
Yes.
right?
Yes, T. Yeah.
So is it
And
going to be like the Jerry Lewis telethon type thing? You're going to be on there for 12 hours?
no, that's so funny. I think what's that guy's name was for like 11 hours.
But
Just to
basically like 1 hour?
back up too. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll stay on forever. I'm gonna go knocking on doors on Monday too. So actually it's
Oh,
starting
wow.
Sunday night. My mom's having a dinner with her friends. And I was like, hold on.